Hello, and welcome to the Bitcoin Brew. This is where coffee is served just like you like it, heavy on the Bitcoin, sprinkle of sugar, and no FUD allowed. I'm here joined with Becca Bratcher, and I'm Amy Andrews. Thank you so much for joining. Consider giving us a like or following us on our Instagram page. Becca, how are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well. January's flying by.
Oh my goodness, it is. And it's actually feeling like January right now, and it's not my favorite.
We're in a cold snap.
It's so cold out there.
It needs to warm up, and I mean quick.
Yep.
We've got a lot on the docket today. Let's talk about, unpack. This week, we've got some good news. The global crypto market cap has exceeded $1 trillion. Bitcoin continues its 3-week straight price rally, up 36%, and is valuing at $23,000. Last time we saw $23,000 was summertime of the value of Bitcoin.
We have 2022.
Yes.
Okay. It's so hard to remember like where everything was, but yeah. And this time it feels a little bit more sure, I would say. You know, like we've already gone down so low that now we're leveling up a little bit.
I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yes,
you know,
me too.
I'm not ready to sing from the mountaintops, but this is looking positive.
Mm-hmm.
Gemini filed Chapter 11 this week, subsequently served DCG with a lawsuit. Oof, that's getting contentious. Today, we'll share our opinions on some mining data that could potentially indicate a market bottom, how blockchain and AI work together, a new venture project started by the 3AC founders, and how the Lightning Network could make this a very big year for Bitcoin. Let's roll that intro.
All right. So, word on the street is Bitcoin miners might just make it through this Bitcoin bear market after all. I know you touched on this in our intro, but since the last time we talked, Bitcoin has stayed pretty steady around 23,000, maybe a little bit of 22. I checked this morning and it was $23,001, so I'll take it. And all that to say is this is really good for Bitcoin miners. So typically Bitcoin mining operations are streamlined, operating similar to a business in that their costs are pretty set. So typically, if Bitcoin price increases, their margins will also increase. There are caveats to this, obviously, like energy price structure, if they have a varying level or if it's set, and where the difficulty level is. So Cointelegraph reported Bitcoin miners' worst days may have passed as hash rate stabilized and profit margins gradually improved toward the end of 2022. However, the industry remains under pressure, especially for small and mid-sized miners with break-even prices above $25,000 in Bitcoin, like Bitcoin price at $25,000. So for any publicly traded Bitcoin miner, the past few weeks have been excellent. So if the price goes up, people are going to buy into their market and buy shares, and so their valuation is going to go up. For private and home miners, it's kind of the opposite because the hash rate goes up, difficulty levels go up, and their costs kind of stay the same. So, they're still struggling quite a bit. But I think through this whole process, we can just continue to learn. And I do believe that people are going to learn from this, and we will gear up for more. So I have a question for you. Do you think 16,000 was the bottom for Bitcoin?
It feels like it. To me, I was looking at some numbers that followed the last two bottoms, and they ranged between a little bit over 400 days, and then the second most recent bottom was 376 days. We're right in that number. So if history repeats itself, I think potentially we could be.
Yeah. I'm starting to think that maybe it was. I was really holding out for the Genesis and possibly Gemini DCG situation, but that really seems to have been already priced in.
Exactly. And I noticed that the upswing of Bitcoin did sort of correlate with the CPI findings. Remember they released those 3 weeks ago. I don't know if that has maybe any correlation, but the time is pretty coincidental.
Yes. It's interesting. We'll see.
Yes, we will. And I forget that you are a home miner.
I mean, if you even want to call it that, I don't know.
Absolutely. You're an operation.
Yeah, unplug and plug in, depending on cost.
Are you plugged in right now?
You know what? I didn't check today. I'm not sure.
Check later. Oh, I read about a story about a home miner who actually did verify a block and earned the 6.25 Bitcoin reward. I do have to look at my notes here because there was such a small chance. It was a 1 in 26.9 million chance.
Whoa.
That a single home miner in his machine was barely capping at 10 terahash per second.
That is so funny.
Interesting.
I mean, so he must not have been part of a pool.
He was part of a pool, and 2% of his reward did go to the pool, but it wasn't one of the large mining pools that are typically the ones that earn these block rewards.
Yeah, for sure.
In numbers, right?
Oh, yeah. That's so funny. Good for him.
Right? So there's still hope. If you're not plugged in, please do.
Keep hashing away.
Keep hashing. Have you been catching all this buzz about AI lately?
I've heard a lot about it, especially from Lee.
Yes. He's super new. In fact, he showed us the DAL-E, a way you can generate images.
Oh, yeah.
You could put in what you want and then what format you want it in. And then ChatGPT is just all over the place. So ChatGPT is a large language model created by OpenAI. After some investigative journalism, I've uncovered a relationship between AI and blockchain. AI systems are only as good as the data that they are trained on. So therefore, if you plug in biased data, the results that the AI produces will be biased as well, and it impairs their understanding of the world. So enter blockchain technology, where you have immutable records of data, you have variables and processes that can be used by the AIs for their decision-making processes. This makes it far easier to audit the entire process. So with appropriate blockchain programming, all the steps from data entry to conclusions can be observed, and the observing party can be sure that this data has not been tampered with. It creates trust between the conclusions drawn by the AI programs. This is a necessary step, as individuals and companies will not start using AI applications if they don't understand how they function and on what information they base their decisions. And then we're seeing there's another relationship. Blockchain developers are using AI to develop smart contract code, develop and test their blockchain wallets, simulating different conditions that test the network, and even to create white papers. Pretty interesting, huh?
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, there's a group of us in the TBC. It's an enterprise blockchain special interest group, and we're trying to generate a white paper. And Eric Powell, he was like, let's use ChatGPT. Let's all brainstorm, come up with challenges. We'll plug it in and see what comes out.
That's so interesting.
Right?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, is this like the end of education as we know it?
Let me tell you, as a previous teacher, educators are really, really concerned about this.
I mean, yeah, because, I even saw an article where, I don't know which, program, but it passed the bar exam. Wow. Which, I mean, if it can do that, then where is it going to stop? And if we're just getting started, this is unbelievable. And I've been trying to listen to some podcasts to kind of see what it is, because honestly I don't really understand it, and it seems so everyone's talked about AI for forever, and then to finally see oh yeah, you can just plug this in and you can image. Well, where does that start, or stop? And to be honest, I don't think it does. I think this is the beginning of the end of civilization. Is that
no? I don't think
a horrible thing to say.
I do feel it's almost a Pandora's box. There are a lot of ethical questions. There's a lot of, how are we going to proceed? Is anything going to be original anymore?
Right.
I mean,
because, yeah.
We should have been using it to create our segments for the show. It could have saved us a lot of time.
Okay, you know what? Because I think Ryan mentioned that last time I tried to plug it in to see, and it was all of ChatGPT is busy right now.
Yes.
So I was like, okay, well, never mind.
I think, and this, don't hold me to this, but I remember seeing a statistic that ChatGPT was one of the only technological inventions that reached 1 million users, the fastest to reach 1 million users.
Wow, I believe it.
And they bogged the system down because everybody wanted to play with it.
Yep. Yeah, well, we'll see. Let's see what happens with that. On the flip side, something very not original. I don't know. I guess ChatGPT can be original. All right. So Kyle Davies and Suzu. What just comes to mind when you hear those names?
crooks,
Yes, exactly.
criminals.
The ultimate fraudsters. All right, so Kyle Davies and Sue Zhu are the founders of Three Arrows Capital, also known as 3AC. 3AC was one of the largest crypto hedge funds that ever existed. And because of that, it was also one of the largest failures in crypto history. These guys have been on the run, apparently not even cooperating with their own bankruptcy process. They owe investors millions, if not billions, of dollars that they completely lost. And so what do? They start a new company, and they are fundraising. They are asking the venture capitalist community for more than $25 million. Their location still isn't even known. Like they are on the run, and they're like, here, actually, we're gonna do this. It's just mind blowing. This exchange will be focused on digital currency bankruptcy claims. So they're literally in the middle of their own. They're not cooperating, and they're starting their own company. I can't believe it. CNBC reported beyond the 4 founding members, the deck lists. So they're partnering with some like CoinFlex, I think, which is another company that's kind of on the rocks. So there's 4 founders. So besides them, the deck list Kent Deng as GTX, so that's the name of their company, GTX, as CTO, Leslie Lamb as CMO, Yelena Mekleka as Chief Digital Officer. GTX apparently has a team of more than 60 developers, according to their deck. I can't believe this. And apparently they're trying to get it to market by the end of February.
So it's a rush.
It's a very
seed round. And wait, GTX, are they trying to just remove one letter from FTX?
I mean, you would think they would want to go the opposite direction, but they're just like right in the mold, doing the same thing over and over again. And I think it's just like so wild to me because honestly, people will probably invest. They'll probably get to their amount that they want. And then it's just going to be time to see what they do with it. I mean, all I got to say is the space really needs some like fresh blood. It needs some new people in the space to bring
A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Right.
G is right after.
Right after.
Right. Yeah.
It's almost like they're capitalizing on the failures of the industry. Is that
Maybe so.
their hook?
I'm not really sure, to be honest. I don't know what they're thinking because they might be going to prison, like this is so wild to me. Do you mind scrolling down a little bit? Sorry. Oh yeah. So I was going to say, we got to bring in some new people. If anyone out there knows of a bankruptcy lawyer who's looking for a new gig, please tell them the crypto industry needs them ASAP, as in yesterday.
I agree. Bankruptcy lawyers are, I don't want to say having a heyday right now, but they're doing very well right now. Thanks to the crypto industry.
And they're probably going to have a job for a very long time. So I think, as we see the market kind of increase, especially with Bitcoin, there's going to be these new companies pop up. They're going to be the flashiest, shiniest thing. They're going to solve all your problems. And I would just say, please be aware of those and do your own research. Make sure you do all of like the SEC filings. I mean, just don't get caught up in all the stuff that just happened because it will repeat itself.
I mean, we're seeing it repeating itself.
Exactly. Like, this is not a joke.
Wow. I know. It's like, when is the candy camera going to come down? Like, we're just kidding.
No.
And I actually looked it up because I wondered how much does Three Arrows Capital owe the people, their users, their clients? It's $3.5 billion.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
See, I just can't.
Thank you.
These people.
So $3.5 billion to 27 companies.
Wow.
Hopefully those same companies are not now investing. Surely not.
Hopefully not. They shouldn't.
No.
Fool me once. What's the Michael Scott quote?
Oh, he probably butchers
I can't remember.
But in the best way. So you tweeted this week about Lightning Network and this being the year of the Lightning Network. So that was a trigger. I was like, oh, I need to learn more about this. What is this? So let me backtrack a little bit and then we'll get into Lightning Network. Bitcoin's defining characteristic is that there will only ever be 21 million coins created. And as demand to own it increases over time, the fixed supply translates to a higher price. The common comparison to Bitcoin is digital gold, a way to store wealth in an ever more digital world. Moreover, Bitcoin was created with decentralization and security as its tenets. So not only are there thousands of miners across the world that help validate and verify new transactions on the blockchain, but Bitcoin's proof of work consensus, it almost makes it impossible to hack the network. The biggest issue, thorn, Achilles heel, you may call it, of Bitcoin is the lack of scalability. It's been an issue. You can only process 3.5 transactions per second. So in order for Bitcoin to evolve from a store of value to a medium of exchange, it needs to become faster at settling transactions. So enter the Lightning Network, a layer 2 solution that could be the answer to this issue. It's built on top of the main Bitcoin blockchain, and Lightning creates channels between different parties who frequently transact. So you could open a channel with vendors that you typically go to on the reg, and anytime you patronize these stores, the balances can be updated on the Lightning Network. These channels can be closed at any time, at which point the transaction is then sent to the Bitcoin layer for final settlement. Benefit of Lightning is it reduces the data load on the primary Bitcoin blockchain, and as transactions are settled far less frequently. Lightning solves this problem of speed, scalability, and costs. A major fintech company, Block, already has enabled free payments for its 49 million Cash App users by connecting to the Lightning Network. So any additional news and ongoing development, the adoption of the Lightning Network should be closely followed in 2023. This feature's progress could catapult Bitcoin's price in short order.
Yeah, somebody, I think it was Lee, explained the Lightning Network to me as like a bar tab. You know, if you're going to order a drink, you don't pay and cash out every single drink. I mean, maybe you do, but typically you give them your card, you let all of your transactions happen, and then they give you your receipt at the end and you sign. So that would be like the block. Does that make sense?
That does.
So
That's a
that
great
helps me.
analogy.
Okay. Yeah, because I was like, I don't understand, like, what's the difference? How is it faster? So it's a component built on top of Bitcoin. Anyway, so
It keeps it from bogging down and having to complete too many transactions at a time.
yeah. And I think the reason that I tweeted that is because I've just been hearing like all these different, Cash App, that's huge. Like everybody has Cash App pretty much. And I just think that people can now use the Lightning Network without even knowing that they're using it. And that's kind of the point of adoption is like so user-friendly, so seamless that you don't even realize that you're using it.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Wow. I will be following that more closely, and I'm glad that you put the seed to have me investigate it further.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed the show. If you're in Houston or if you're into oil, gas, and the intersection of Bitcoin mining, come find us at NAPE. We'll be there February 1st through the 3rd at the Bitcoin Mining Pavilion. We're also on Instagram at bitcoin.brew, and find us on Twitter at RayBayBecca and at TBCAmy. Thanks for joining us, and don't forget to give us a like down below.
Thanks for watching.
If you want to be part of the future that we are crafting here in Texas, join the TBC today.
Thanks for watching the Texas Blockchain Council. We've got more videos, more great content, and we are a nonprofit. So if you could send your Bitcoin here, this is my personal wallet address. And don't ask me for my seed phrase.